I'm receiving so many questions from people getting club shows like post-COVID or wanting to get club shows, and they're really nervous about making the jump from their controller to club equipment. And some are even expressing concerns about what genre should they play, and what they're saying is that their local club events pretty much play more commercial music. So in this video, I'm going to show you, like, let's say you turn up, you're playing house, it's not really working, you're like, fuck man, you want to kind of really slow the BPM down and play more commercial music. I'm going to give you a really cool method where you can actually use the tempo faders, or the tempo sliders, right, and the pitch to kind of like pitch down. And what it does is it kind of creates this pattern interrupt, and then you can come in with a really powerful song. It's actually really kind of effective. Now, in many ways though, this kind of is like V-break, okay, or vinyl break. But the thing is, right, when doing V-break, okay, on your controllers, you have a little bit more control on the controller than you actually do on the CDJs. So when you go into V-break, you can go in, you can affect the touch release and all that, right? And you can also go put them on your pads as well. But when actually playing in clubs, I'll show you how that works first of all. You've actually got to get it in vinyl mode over here. Okay, so you just go into vinyl mode, and here's your vinyl speed adjust here. Okay, so let's say I've got a track playing, and I'll just go back to that cue. Let's say this is playing, and I've got that. The furthest there, if I hit pause, it does that. Okay, and I'm kind of talking about doing a sound similar to that, but what I'm going to show you get a bit more control. And it's kind of a good way to kind of like change BPMs, go to any BPM you want, go to any genre that you want. Okay, but just saying then, okay, so that's good. But let's say you want to make that less intense as well, the V-break here. I could be like, just have it less intense, have it like further like that, listen. Okay, it's obviously less. And if I went over here completely, then you hit that, it just stops, okay? So now what I'm gonna show you though, okay, and I'll show you how to do it and when I'll do it. But, you know, I don't even need it on vinyl mode, it doesn't really matter. Okay, and that's playing. And let's say I want to mix in and go to a different BPM. Okay, and say I put this song on, I'm thinking this is commercial, but still everyone's coming up and requesting like actual pop that could be 20 or 30 BPMs different. Maybe I could just pitch down. Okay, so I'll show you. Okay, now I could come in with my other song. Now, to make that work, it's actually pretty cool, but I'll tell you, stick around, I'm going to tell you how and when I'd use it. But here's the thing, a couple of things to note. If you do want to move the tempo fader and the pitch to change, you've definitely got to take the master tempo button off. See, the master tempo holds the key of the original song, so you have to take the master tempo button off to do this. But once I've finished the transition and I was just mixing as usual, I'd make sure to turn that back on. So when I move the tempo fader, it's only going to change the BPM without changing the key. Now the second thing is also, I want to switch the tempo range here into wide, okay? Because I'm actually taking that down to 0. I didn't stop this track, but because I've moved this to now 0 BPMs, it's actually stopped. Like listen, okay, remember that? See? Okay, it's 128, and I went, listen, I went like, and I've actually stopped it with the tempo fader alone. Okay, now, here's the scenario. Why would I use it? Okay, so let's imagine, okay, I'm thinking, oh, they want more commercial stuff. And let's say I've gone into EDM or Fisher and stuff, and I'm thinking, oh, this is commercial. But again, let's say they just actually want stuff like The Weeknd and Top 40, and you're playing, and all I'm saying is instead of doing like a transition track or doing like an echo out, which you could do, this is actually not a bad little move. And that means I could just do that. And then as long as I hit play on something kind of cool on this side, then it could happen. So this song here, like, you know, it's like saying 171 beats per minute. This is like, I'm actually pitching down. It doesn't really matter what I hit play. I'm not going to beat match them at all. So again, though, to make it work, probably come in after the chorus. Okay, so I'll show you. Let's give it a go. So let's take this to the end of the chorus here. Let's imagine I put on this track. It's not going too good. I've got this one over here ready. Okay, and you see, there we go, and then something comes on. I actually don't mind this song. I like a lot of stuff, but this song here, for some reason, I've heard it enough times that I'd be like, you know, I think this stuff kind of for a pop club could actually go kind of all right. And then once I'm there, I just start mixing pop as usual. And all my courses about how to mix all different genres. So that's not a bad example. And now, let's say though, that's kind of a little bit easy because it dropped off and there's a break. So let's imagine there's not a break. Okay, let's pretend I put on Losing It. And I'm just thinking, wow, that's commercial, people are loving it. But I put it on and people are like, oh, they've maybe heard it a bit too many times, or maybe they're just over it. So what I could do is, let's say I've played it. I don't want to panic too much, but let's say I've played it now for about, maybe just over a minute and a half, goes into a sort of break. What I could do, I could even use filter with it. Okay, and you see it doesn't matter what BPM or genre I go to. Personally, I wouldn't do this mix all the time. There's no way. If you did that every single transition, it's going to get old pretty fast. It's a matter of, doing different types of transitions. I've got a pretty popular video actually, 5 different types of transitions. I'll link that in now, right? But definitely 100% check that out. Okay, so those examples were for big BPM and genre shifts, but you could also use this transition technique to create cool diversity in your set. And let's say you're playing a UK garage track, okay, and you want to pitch down to a lower BPM, but with a similar style. This method still works really well. So in this case, my master track is 124 beats per minute, and I want to mix into a UK breaks track at 102 beats per minute. So I'm just going to approach it in the exact same way. So let's say this has already been playing for a couple of minutes. Okay, cool. Okay, and I've got this one ready. Actually, one thing quickly though. Let's say, see then when I hit play on the other one before, I was kind of like, there wasn't a lot going on, there was a sound. But say with this song here, let's say you go and do what I was doing there and just hit play with your new song. Sometimes it can come in a bit strong. Have a listen to that. And it's like, ugh. If ever you mix and you're coming in, you're like, whoa, it's probably the high frequencies. Okay, so have a listen. See, listen. That kind of softens it. So I could always take out the high, okay? I don't really have to worry about taking out the bass when I'm not actually playing 2 songs together. You do bass swapping when you've both got 2 songs playing that both have bass in them. Okay, again, I dive way deep into like EQ work in my course. Like that's one of my specialties. But in this case, I'm just saying, I'm fading this one out with this method to kind of keep it funky. But then when I go to this one, well, I'm just hitting play and I'm like, you know what I mean? Let me show you like how, like without anything, and because you might experience this, that's all I'm saying. So have a listen. Okay. So I go with this one. It's a bit like, whoa, maybe I want to kind of come in underneath. So if you ever bring it in, like I said, it could just be, soften it a bit with your highs. But then I could be like, it comes in and then use that to kind of like boost it in there. I'd do that. But also I could actually filter it in too. So I could take that onto the low and be like, I like that too. And then I could bring the highs in as well. Okay, just a tip there. So let's have that down. Just say, maybe I've been experimenting. Maybe I could even hear in my headphones, be like, oh, it sounds a bit strong. So you could just, soften it there. Maybe bring that out, filter it in a bit. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Okay, and that comes in, right? Yeah, I'm just, it could come in with anything. Okay, now, all in all, okay, I wouldn't be doing this style of transition all the time, okay? But it is kind of fun, like I like it. And it is an interesting way to move to any BPM and cross genres with effortless ease. And it's also a great way to, I guess, like create anticipation, as it works kind of like a pattern interrupt. And even though it's actually pretty basic, it does show confidence, okay, as it means you're breaking away from the traditional transitions and you're willing to try things. And it also allows you to get out of tracks that are pretty much like people, maybe it's not getting the best response, and even genres that are not working in a way that's interesting and unique, okay? So go and try it now. It's actually loads of fun and it really is kind of easy. But remember, effects like this should be used sparingly. So if you do this as your go-to transition, it's going to get pretty old pretty quick. And the same goes for spin backs. So on occasion, they're cool, and by keeping them to a minimum, they're much more effective than when you execute them than doing it all the time. So anyway, thanks again, man. I was just messing around with you guys, just having fun on this one. I just sort of was playing around. I thought, you know what, let's just put in a random video. But anyway, man, thanks for tuning in. Seriously, I love you guys, man. And I appreciate you supporting me. Okay, and hopefully you're getting a lot of value from it. Anyway, cool guys, thanks.